the cloud, and it's, thank you. And then I want to share my screen. There we go. Share. And what I want to talk about is, as we get to the end of the year and prepare for next year, the top 10 best practices. And this is where some of you who are experienced agents can jump in as well on this. But here's 10 things that I think are helpful, valuable things for you to be doing. The first one is to set goals and review them regularly. December 1st, we're going to be having our business planning meeting. So you have been getting some emails and encourage you to go on, do your business plan, get that set up, sync it to your calendar. If you don't know how to do that, let me know and I'll walk you through doing that. But years back, Sue and I wrote up a list of things that we wanted to do to our house that need to be done. We've been in our house for 21 years now. And after 21 years, things start to fall apart, including the owners. So probably about 5-6 years ago, we wrote up a list of things we wanted to do. And about every year I find the list again and pull it out. And it's amazing because we've knocked off several of those things on the list just because we wrote them down and subconsciously we're thinking about that. Put together your bags, your BHAGs, your big, hairy, audacious goals. Dream big. Okay, this being said, dream big. Dream bigger than you're going to accomplish. Why?
You keep going.
What?
You keep going.
You keep going. Okay. Why else?
Well, if you fall short, you're probably still in pretty good shape.
You're still in pretty good shape. Yeah. If you dream big, you tend to rise higher than you would if you didn't. Now, that being said, years back when I first got into business, we did a dream board thing at the office that I was at the time. And one of the agents, I won't mention John Kenny's name, he did his dream board up, and one of his things was this really nice truck. And he went out and bought the really nice truck before he'd closed anything. And then it took him longer to close something than he anticipated, and he was in trouble. He goes, "Yeah, I should have waited to buy the truck until I'd actually done something." So, yeah, probably a good idea. So you want to do big goals, but don't go spend the money that you haven't earned yet until you're getting there. But set goals and then review them regularly. Post them where you can see them. Post them where a spouse can see them. Post them where your kids can see them. Yeah, and that'll bring up when I get to the last one on there. But hang on. I found if you don't write them down, you don't do them. You don't go those directions. So write your goals down. Right now in my office, I've got a pad of paper. I've got real estate goals. I got property management goals. I think I've got broker goals, and I've got personal goals. So I'm working on noodling those out, putting those out that I'm gonna have on there, 3 or 4 goals for each of those areas. Now, will I accomplish all of them? Unfortunately, no. And if you write goals and you accomplish them all, you didn't do big enough ones. You want to write them where you don't accomplish them. Maggie.
You shouldn't confess that. You should always look forward to finishing them all. Don't put the idea in your head that you might not finish them, but that's just me. We actually, for a few years, we did a dream board class where we cut out, pictures and did magazines and stuff, and it was fun. And we missed it last year. So I sent out emails, come on, let's do our dream board, and not very many people responded, and it kind of went by the wayside. A couple people did and got mad at me. But we need to do them again this year. I really enjoy it when I send out that date. We all work on our dream board. I did one when we were in the other office, and we moved offices, and it was packed away in the storage, so I forgot all about it. And then I did a listing, and they had a yellow Corvette. I always wanted a yellow Corvette, so I went ahead and took it as an exchange for my money for this listing. And then about 6 months later, pulled my dream board out from the storage, and what did it have on there? The exact Corvette that I ended up purchasing, that the guy that I bought it from had put these black stripes on top. It wasn't made like that. And on the picture on my dream board, there were the same black stripes. So it does happen. I call it my prayer board. So, cause I actually pray over it. But it actually does happen. I also put goals, paychecks, and what my savings account should look like. I printed it out and then scratched it out and put what I wanted in there. And, unfortunately, it doesn't have in there. So yeah, just like you were saying, dream big. And when I set that date, let's please all do it, because
Yep.
it does work and it's fun.
But there is power in doing like a dream board. There is power in writing them down, but the power is added to it when you actually go and look at them again.
Right.
And it's easy to get discouraged at times too. Second thing for being growing your business and being a best practice for a real estate agent is be a learner. Never stop learning. I mean, you have to do it in all areas of life. And for me as a broker, and the new things come out, here's my goal. Whenever there's a new tool or there's something with our tools in there, I just work really hard to try and learn it, understand it, because what I try to avoid is, Dave, I think I can help you with that, where you guys are ahead of me on that. It drives me nuts. So I try to stay ahead of you young whippersnappers and usually I'm not successful, but that's okay, because that means you guys are working on that too. But that's my goal. It drives me to be a learner, to understand this so that I can make sure that if somebody needs help with it, I can do that. Read books, read articles, talk with other agents, ask questions, listen, go to conferences, watching training videos. We got the David Knox stuff on there. His stuff is great. Go watch that stuff and be encouraged by it and learn from it. Make training meetings and opportunities a priority. Try new things. Don't be afraid to fail. How many times have you failed in real estate?
Oh,
I think that answers it.
God.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Take opportunities to teach others, either formally or informally. I always learn more than the people I teach. So when I was pastoring, I would preach a message and I learned way more than the people did, because I studied all week. So when you study to teach other people or in real estate and that, you learn far more, because you just do, you only do so much in a presentation, but you learn so much more. So find ways to teach. If you want to teach on a Wednesday, you want to train on a Wednesday, you think something good, let me know and I'll give you the floor and let you take the opportunity to do that, because but be a learner. This business constantly changes. So when I first got into real estate, it was one sort of a market. And then my business partner at the time, there was a couple investors that wanted to buy properties, foreclosure properties. You talk about a huge learning curve. We had to learn how to evaluate properties, how to price them right, how to title search to make sure we weren't buying a second. Huge learning curve, huge stress level in my life. Probably one of the most stressful ones. I was on the courthouse steps. There was a property that came up in Deer Ridge, and there was about 30 people bidding on it when it first came up, and it was going along, and then all of a sudden everybody but me and one person dropped out, and I knew there was still tons of room in it, and I was a little nervous, and I'm talking to business partner on the phone. We're still bidding. Then that person drops up, and I get it for an amazing price. And right afterwards, one of the guys that I knew that I trusted came to me and said, "You sure that's a first? Because we just found out as a second." And we just spent like $250,000 of our person's money on it, cash. And man, I mean, my mouth went dry. And the saving thing on it was, and I had forgotten about that at the time, but my guy on the other end, Larry, was going, "Dave, we listed that property. We had all the information on it. There is no second on that house. There's only a first. So our information is correct." So we got it for a steal, and our investor made a ton of money. But man, when somebody walks up to you and says, "Are you sure that was the first?" It's like, because that's a call I never wanted to make is, "Hey, yeah, about that $250,000. Yeah, I lost it. Sorry." So going through all that huge learning curve. And I was so glad when that kind of ended because it took 20 years off my life. It was just so stressful. I mean, it was so stressful. I mean, I'm sitting on the courthouse steps with $2 million in my pocket,
Would you do it
cashier's
now?
checks.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, I probably would. Because we made our investors a lot of money. So, but be a learner. It was a great learning experience, but it was stressful. Third thing, manage your time. Manage your time. Time management comes in all sorts of different flavors. Time blocking is crucial for success. Don't do just to-do lists, do to-do time blocks. Focus on an area of your business at a time. I put in property management time, I put in broker time, I put in this, and I focus on that area in that. And I just write literally in my calendar, I write in my to-do list in that time block. And so I just see it there and then I knock those off and do that. Focus on an area of your business time, phone calling, managing your time, putting the systems into place, such as the DOORS two-step process, doing your AVID when inspections are being done. I was talking on Monday night that, Connie, how many times have you had to remind me to go do my AVID? Too many. So I'll go out there for the inspections and I forget to do it. But that's the perfect, if you're with the buyer and you go do the inspections, the perfect time to do it. And I always forget, and then I got to go back and.
Remember to do it when you're doing your inspections. Old agents, I just slap you around.
Yeah.
Agents do it correctly.
Yep.
Brianna's looking at me like.
Managing your time, catch this. Managing your time also includes taking some breaks and giving yourself a mental break from it. Okay. So last night I was working on, I had to finish this up. So I get home, have dinner with Sue, talk for a little bit, and then I put the Warriors game on and I sit for 2 hours and work while she starts to read and on the couch, and her and I'll curl up on the couch to sleep. So there's times that I just need to take breaks and step away from it and do that. So it's okay to give yourself breaks. Now, sometimes we give ourselves too many breaks. And we make a phone call and then we take a 3-hour break. It's, ooh, that was stressful. I gotta, man, good job. I gotta take a break, Oh, a lot of people do. So take rest, do that. Manage your time also means if you jump on social media, get in, do your thing, like, and get off and move on, because it's a black hole that will just suck you in and suck the life out of you. So
For me, it's set a timer, 30 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, manage your time with it, because that's one of those areas that can be, and unfortunately, that's why I got on there and then a video pop up and then I'll click on that. And then I'm watching Family Feud for 20 minutes and it's all, and then I'm watching, car race stuff. And it's like,
Oh, squirrel.
yeah. So I just can't get on there because I'm not
People
disciplined
see me
well
on
enough.
message after message
Yeah.
after message, and can you turn that off? Can you turn that off when you're on? You can turn off the message thing. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I'm there.
Yeah. But managing your time is blocking that time in, it's using it efficiently, it's getting the job done. It's taking care of those tough tasks. So last week I had 62 tenants that all had problems on the same day. So I made a phone call to deal with one thing and end up with 3 other things off that phone call that I had to add to my list. Then I called another tenant and had 2 things added. So it was like, I gotta quit calling these people because they're killing me. But I found out the things I need to get done, added it to the next couple of days for my property management stuff, and knocked off that stuff. And I've got things in a better spot. So sometimes we don't like to do those things because it creates more work, but it's important to do that. But manage your time. And then when you need to, just step away from it, just take a break. So do that. Next one. There we go. Talk to people every day. Okay. I know it's much more enjoyable just to talk to my dog, but talk to people every day. Phone calls, texts, face to face. And sometimes you feel like a crash dummy when you're, in it, because sometimes our conversations end up in wrecks and all that. But talk to people every day. This is a face-to-face people business, and some of you are very good at the tech, and that's great. But that's just to build your name recognition out there. This has to happen. You got to have this. If you're not doing the face-to-face, you are not going to make it in this business. You got to get on the phone. You've got to get out there, talk to people, do that. So yesterday it was just, I was working on this actually. A FaceTime came up from Tucker Robinson. Well, he moved here from Indiana, bought a house in Discovery Bay. And when he bought it, he said, hey, buy a house. You won't have a problem. Find me a house. You won't have a problem reselling it, because we're going to probably move in the next 5 years and you're going to sell it for us. So I've got him this beautiful house in Discovery Bay. About 4 years later, called today. The kids are moving back to Indiana. So we're following them. They have, 2 grandkids, so that they're going to follow their kids and their grandkids. So sold that house. Well, Tucker popped up on FaceTime. I was like, what's odd that he's FaceTiming me? And I answered and said, hey, Tucker. He goes, did I call you or did you call me? I said, I wasn't touching my phone, so you called me. He goes, must have butt dialed you. It's like, oh, I'm glad your butt likes me. On FaceTime nonetheless. So, but we talked. And did we talk about real estate? Not really. We talked about grandkids. We talked about Indiana. We talked about how far he is from the Indianapolis 500. He goes, if you ever come back here, come on back. I'd love to go. That's my bucket list, to go to the Indy 500. They're about 25 minutes from the race course. So we talked for about 5 minutes and just, we didn't talk about real estate. But you know what? If he's got somebody moving from that direction here, or he's got somebody that he know here moving, he's going to call me. So I don't need to talk about real estate all the time. Unless somebody doesn't know you're in real estate, then talk to them. Make sure they do that. But you need to get out there and talk face to face. Not talk to people, but be nice to people. Okay? Be nice to people. Especially, I wear my logo shirts, and I can't tell you the number of times I got my shirt on and there's a problem at the store and I'm frustrated. But you know what? I'm really nice, because they see Weichert Realtors, HH and Associates.
So I don't honk at people.
Yeah, but true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
flip anybody off when we're driving.
I used to, and I used to have bad rotary.
Yep.
But that's the only reason, not because I'm afraid to get shot, because I got Weichert on my car.
Correct. And you know what? If you yell and scream at people, it not only affects you, because they don't know, they may see your name on there,
Yeah.
but it affects all of us.
Yeah.
Oh, that Weichert company, I'm not using them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
They're crazy.
They're scrappy.
They're scrappy. Yeah. But be nice to people. Be somebody who makes somebody's day better. Don't, the people are either glad to see you come or glad to see you go. Be the type of people that people are glad to see you come. So we don't always need to be talking about real estate. I go to some functions, and the people know I'm in real estate. What's the first thing they say to me? Yeah, how is the real estate market?
Yeah.
And what I want to scream to him is, I don't care right now. I'm at a party. I don't want to talk about this, but I give some sort of an answer and move on. I don't have to talk about real estate because they're going to ask the questions. So, but get out there. So tonight, 5 o'clock, I'm part of Rotary. Okay. And the reason I'm part of Rotary is because somebody sent somebody from Rotary to me because they were they had an agent who wasn't getting them a home, and they were frustrated. So they came to me, and so we got talking about Rotary and that. And so I started helping them, and she said, hey, you need to join Rotary. Well, I will when you guys start meeting in person again. Well, I'm going to make sure that when we start doing that, that you do. So we got my client into home, all that. Rory started to meet in person. Guess what she did?
Told you.
She called me up and said, hey, we're meeting in person, so you're going to join now, right? Guess what I did? I joined Rotary because my client is part of it, wants me to be a part of that. So now I have weekly contact with her and with other people within Rotary. And tonight at 5 o'clock, they do a thing once a month called Over the Hump Day, and they pick a different restaurant, and they want to support restaurants and help people through the pandemic. So tonight, Sabrina's in Oakley. If you guys want to join, starting at 5 o'clock, go on in, and I'm going to go hang out with people. Do I want pizza tonight? No, I'm probably not going to be. I'm probably going to have a salad, but I'm going to go hang out there and talk to people, and that I'm going to build a relationship. It's important to do. So you got to get out and you got to talk to people. You got to be nice to people. One of the most important aspects of hanging out with people is ask questions and then listen. Just ask questions. So I could go to an event with my father-in-law. Okay, same exact event. We would leave the event, and I could talk to some of the same exact people. I probably am not remembering their names. Afterwards, he would tell you their name, what high school they went to, what college they went to, what their degree was, what they do for a living, how many kids or grandkids they have. I mean, their whole life history. It's like, how do you do that? You talk to them for 3 minutes and you know their life. He was just great with asking questions. And there's times he'd talk to people and ask questions, and he'd pull a little notepad out and he's taking notes as they're answering. It's like, who does that? My father-in-law did. But I've got this, I took over some of his properties for property management was done. And his clients all loved him because he just asked questions and he knew them, and he was, makes it more personal. Yeah, they were exactly like that. And so there was a lot of pressure on me when I took over, because he passed away, that I took over for him, because his people loved him. And so I needed to do that. So this year I'm actually working on doing some things where I'm going to go do something special for each of my owners, because I want them to know that I really appreciate, them trusting me all these years with all that. So talk to people every day. If you come in the office, great, but find reasons to go out there and hang out with people too. Okay, whatever the context is. This one is for all of us. Watch your attitude.
What are you trying to say, Dave?
No, it's different than you think. It is really, really, really easy to get discouraged in this business. Yeah, that was an amen. I saw that. I see that hand. My picture days. It's really easy to get discouraged in this business. Okay. What are ways, especially for those who are been around longer, what are ways you've gotten discouraged in real estate? What are things that have happened that have discouraged you? I want some of our experienced agents to share.
I had one lawsuit
You had one lawsuit. Okay.
that just about fried me.
Okay. And it was probably that you hadn't really done anything wrong.
No, and we got into the court and we were sitting there, the bailiff came down and told the three of us we could go back because they were dismissing us
Okay.
after 6 months of hell.
Okay.
That sucks.
Okay. Something else. Time you got discouraged in real estate. Maggie.
I lost 20 pounds because I was the middle of a contingent offer that was contingent upon another one, that was contingent upon another one, that was contingent upon another one, that was contingent upon me. And then there was 2 more after that. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was in the hot time, foreclosures, everything fell, everything was cheap, everybody wanted everything. And my guy unfortunately couldn't go through with his loan. And so I got phone calls from some evil older agents saying they were gonna sue me and that I needed to pay for storage units and this and that for their people because now they were out and they couldn't move in, and I cried every day. I didn't know what to do. Eventually I found another buyer for the house and was able to pull everything together and make it work, but it was probably one of the most difficult times in real estate for me. Well, there's several others. But I never wanted to do real estate again in my entire life, and I don't know what pushed me to keep going. But yeah, that was super difficult. When people you look up to are calling and yelling and screaming at you and telling you your life is over, real estate, we're gonna kick you out, you know, I was like, oh yeah, it was super difficult.
Okay, anybody else?
super difficult.
I had to cancel my listing on Sunday and I don't know if they're gonna use me.
Okay.
They realized.
Okay.
You know, me and Eagle, I just spent almost a year on the Hennessy Marina. And now the guy's going, everything's up in the air and everything's over. It's just ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah. No, he doesn't know what he's doing. He called me and asked me to look for property for his brother-in-law. I'm so confused.
Yep.
Yeah. But then he told me that's up in the air now too. I said, and well, from the very beginning, he said this renter and then come to find out there's been nobody there by that name. I mean, it's just been really.
Yep.
A difficult.
Yeah, how about when you get all the way to the end, you get all the way to the end, you're closing, you're signing.
Hey, we've done that.
Yeah, you think it's done, and then it falls apart at the
Yep.
last, at the very last minute, it falls apart. Or how about when you get the people that go home and they drink after 5 o'clock at night, and they call you and they're a different person.
Yep.
They're screaming and yelling because you didn't do this or you didn't do that. Basically, this is this very stressful business.
Excuse me, I don't speak English.
And you need to know how to go through things without
So,
freaking out.
so I had, it was church related. A couple of the leadership in a church I was going to, one wanted me to help him sell his house because he had problems with the neighbor, one of the neighbors behind him. So they wanted to sell and buy something else. So they brought me and said, we don't want anybody to know about this. If we list it, we don't want to sign up. We don't want, we don't want people in the church to be, in on this and that. So they brought me in, they confided with me in all sorts of things. I did a ton of stuff for the staff at the church and was always serving all that. Had another guy on staff that helped him, sold one of his house, helped him buy another one. Somewhere in there, as things were all falling apart in that church situation with them, and they were leaving, somehow I'm not sure what happened, but they trashed me. And they both ended up using somebody else to sell their homes. They moved out of the area. I go to things where some people that were a part of kind of the whole group of servers and leadership stuff in there. And I'm just, you can tell they don't want me in the room. And several of them, so, you in the personal world, you do things, you help people, you do all this stuff, and then somehow you end up getting your name trashed. It happens. And it took me 6 months to kind of that was where we were going. So again, and unfortunately, church people tend to be the worst. I'll just, straight up, I wish it wasn't that way, but that tends to be how things play. There's a lot of good, good ones that are wonderful and all that. But I do this because you're gonna have that friend who uses somebody else. You're going to have a listing that you've done everything right and they don't listen to you and you can't get it sold and you're terrible. So I had another one, had a listing. It was a kind of a guy pad. There was almost no furniture in the house. He wanted overpriced. So we did this listing and he came to he did flooring and all sorts of stuff. He came to my house. We did kind of a bartering thing. I was going to do some on his side with the commission. He was helping with the house there. I paid him cash because I wasn't sure, how long it was going to take to do that. So he then decided, well, I'm going to take it off the market for a while and I'll put it back on later. Okay. And then about 3 months later, he put it on the market with somebody else at the price where I told him he needed to be before. Got it. So when he got it, I just called him and said, hey, I thought you were going to come and talk to me. And it's like, and he got really mad at me. He goes, you little say, and just yelled at me. And that was it. Well, he was good friends with some other clients who I'd been to their baby reveal shower party. Her dad had died in an accident, went to his service, and they ended up selling their house and buy another one. And then they put up this posting of what a great agent we had, da, 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 and lauding this other agent when I bent over backwards, worked really hard for them but they were upset because their relative, was upset. And so it just, and this person's an EMT and I run into her fairly often on calls. So, but I'm cordial and I'm nice because I understand that family, but those things happen. But then the good thing is you get these listings and you get these people that use you and it's wonderful. You get listings you shouldn't get, so watch your attitude. It's really easy to get discouraged. If you're getting discouraged, talk to people, talk it through, talk it out, puke it all out, get it done and move on because, that's just what I do. So I went a little long on that one, but your attitude's your choice.
People, when we sold their house, they're still sending me gifts in the mail. For thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
My people that went to, Mississippi or wherever it was, they still sending me little things in the mail.
Yep.
thank you. So that makes it.
Whose attitude do you love? Who's somebody out there that in whatever, just who's somebody whose attitude you love? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she's always, yeah.
You're not with her 24/7.
Yeah. You get a different Naomi than I get. That's great. No, that's great. Naomi has a great attitude.
I just love little Allie's attitude. Like, she just has this glow from her, the new agent we have.
Yeah.
She just so bubbly. Like, I just love her.
Yep.
I want to take her home with me.
I think that's called kidnapping. Not sure, but I think it's probably illegal in the state of California. So next thing, practice, practice, practice. I'm going to keep hammering this over and over and over again. You need to practice your contracts. You need to practice your doors two-step listing presentation. You need to practice your what are things? Well, let me show you this. It's about a minute video.
So,
It was supposed to just start automatically. There we go. So this is Steph Curry, one of the best shooters.
it's amazing.
He does this practice after practice after practice. That's Steph Curry, yeah. You don't know how hard that sort of a shot is, and to do it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Practicing weird stuff. And this is not Curry, but it's just Toscano. It's on for just a couple seconds. There's Steph Curry again. And he made 2 of these shots in the game last night. Now, they were in buzzer beaters. He just came across half court and just shot him. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was no big deal.
yeah. But see now, I mean, yeah. But watch. Then he takes it and boom.
And he's so humble too, which is even better.
Yeah. So now they're doing volleyball.
That hurts, that ball's hard.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that very often, dunk.
Ever try to do that?
Yeah.
With 40 broken fingers.
Okay. So what are some of your observations watching that? repetition. What else?
Coordination.
Eye-hand coordination. Okay, what else?
Yeah.
Time commitment. Yeah. What else?
It looked like he was having fun.
He's having fun.
Yeah.
Found creative ways of doing that, of changing things up. And the soccer and the volleyball and that. Okay, good. What else?
It's working.
What?
It's working. His practice is.
It's working. Yeah, he's he's risen to the top as one of the top shooters ever in basketball. He's got a commitment to it. What?
He's focused, he's paying attention.
He's focused.
He's working on a team.
He's working with the team. Very good. Very good. I was hoping to see if somebody came up with that.
He knows he's good and he keeps practicing.
He's the best there is, and he keeps practicing as if he's not the best.
And he does, he really is like that. I have a friend of mine, Sam Stevie Gardner, who practices with him, and he's literally like this.
Yeah.
All day, every day, on and off camera.
Yep.
And
No,
he's
he-
very humble. He
this-
practices he's, just regular person.
Still trying to make it.
Yeah.
Still trying to make it.
Yep.
We get away from basketball, and a good golfer will tell you it's 1,000 balls a day.
Yep.
PGA, 1,000 balls a day.
Yep.
They hit.
Yeah, he probably doesn't have any shots in his more.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
and again, what you do in private makes a difference in public. So when's the last time you practiced presenting a contract? When's the last time you practiced your Doors two-step listing presentation with somebody? When's the last time you practiced a buyer consultation with somebody? Practice those. And I gave an assignment on Monday to those who were there of practicing doing the contract on camera and then watching it. And then doing a practice one with their mentor, and then doing a practice one with Maggie and I. Because I want you guys to be good at these skills. You've got to know how to use it and how to be effective with it. It's practice, 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 practicing your phone calls. Okay. Record yourself making phone calls and watching how you do on those. How am I responding? And that what you do in private makes a difference in public when it counts. And so I'll tell you this, 90% of the agents out there don't practice anything. They just do it along. And so rise to the top 10% and practice your craft. You're a professional. Steph Curry is a professional. Rise to the top of your craft by acting like a professional, and practice. It's so important to do that. I've told you guys multiple times when I was a pastor, every week I would go practice my sermon out loud, a minimum of twice, if not sometimes 3 and 4 times. Because there was times where I would be preaching, it's like I would say something that didn't make sense to me. And it certainly wasn't going to make sense. So I would edit and change things because I heard something when you hear your voice out loud makes a difference. Oops. Oh, come on, there we go. Next, cultivate your fanatical fans. Okay, cultivate these are your fans. Who are your fans? People who know you, like you, and trust you. They can be clients, they can be family members, they can be friends, they can be neighbors, they can be people at the club you're at or the church you're at. People who know you, like you, and trust you. Cultivate those people. How many do you need? I would say you need a good list of a minimum of 20 people who know you, like you, and trust you. If you don't have people who know you, like you, and trust you, then we should probably sit down and talk. But 20 to 50 kind of fanatical fans. I think my list is at about 38, 39 in there. These are people who I know that they'll refer people to me, they'll send people my direction on there. So I want to cultivate those relationships. It can, again, past client, family member, friend, coworker, neighbor, whatever. Identify your fans and begin to nurture that or cultivate that fanatical fan relationship. And they don't need to, they don't need to know you're doing that. Just it'll grow organically. So how do you cultivate? Phone calls. Hey, how you doing? Getting together for coffee. Send them an email of something relevant to your relationship. A couple times a year, a special gift. Maggie does calendars every year for a lot of her people. One agent in the area, the day after Christmas, she'll be out at the stores and she'll buy up as much wrapping paper as she can. And then November, she goes to her fanatical fans and she delivers wrapping paper to them that they can use for Christmas. She does it every year. So she's built a reputation with her clients, her fans, and they use her, and she does very good business in the area. So it's cultivating that, it's being involved in their, going to their Mary Kay parties. I'm so tired of getting makeovers done. I'm sorry. But go to their parties, go hang out. You know, they invite you to things, go to their place. I've got one client that their daughter was in plays at the junior high, and she was in twice a year. We'd go twice a year to her place, and we had fun. We enjoyed it. It was fun. But we went and we hung out with them. They bought us tickets half the time. Go and hang out. You get into their world. Go to their kids' games. Watch their kids play games. Do that. Be involved in their world, in their life. Maggie, some thoughts. I mean, Maggie's one of the, you know, this is kind of old school stuff. So what else should they be doing? You and I have talked about some of those things.
Sending CMAs, following it up with a phone call, personal phone call to make sure they got them. Then following it with a card to say, thank you for taking my phone call. And do you know anybody else that would like to talk about or have a CMA? Not only that, birthday cards, Christmas cards, Thanksgiving cards, personally handwritten, is probably the most important thing that you can do with a handwritten note that's personalized. You know, I enjoyed talking about whatever, you know, this was an important time in my life. You really helped me out, whatever it is that transpired through your relationship. And then I keep information about the homes that I sell and their names on them, so that every time I do send them something, I don't repeat it. I write the date down that I last sent them something. And phone calls and visiting and meals and
Yep.
yeah, it's all of the above. It takes away from your family, which sucks because I get a lot of that in the background. But it also creates relationships, and 99% of the time, it's not really about you and how you're feeling, but it's how you're making that client feel by expressing how you feel about them, you know?
So if you send a Christmas card, Thanksgiving card, one of the sort of things, and you handwritten, you do that. If you do this one thing, I am going to egg your house. Okay. If you put your business card in there, I'm going to egg your house. Because I had an agent who was a friend of ours, you know, that went to my church when I was pastoring, and she would send a Christmas card and have her business card in there. It just says, this is just my excuse for saying my business card. Don't do that, please.
The only time you get the business card is when you send the calendar, then your business card's on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Throw it in the fridge and they got you all year long. So you never, you know.
Okay.
That's some of those again. Yeah.
Next one, no shortcuts. Oops.
I'm gonna ask before I do anything else.
So no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. Who's that quote from?
Oh, man.
Helen Keller.
Oh, wow.
That kind of adds some power to that quote then. Yeah. Yeah. When you're seeing who the quote's from, that's like, oh yeah, there's no shortcuts to any place worth going. And talk about somebody who had a lot of work with it. It's going that extra mile. You know where that phrase going the extra mile comes from? It's actually from the Bible. That's where that originated from. So in Roman occupation times, it was required by law that if a Roman soldier came to your house, you were required by law to carry all their gear for them for a mile. It wasn't a mile, but whatever the distance was. You were required by law to carry that. And what Jesus came along and said is, hey, if they tell you to go 1 mile, go 2 miles. And that's where that phrase of going the extra mile came from. That's where it originated from for our idiom from here. But you know, by law, carry the gear. That's it. That's all I'm required, and I'm done. I'm out of here. See, I fulfilled my duty. If you're doing real estate to fulfill your duty, you'll do okay, but you're not going to excel. Go the extra mile. Do the extra thing. Exceed that. Saturday, I had a 6.5 hour photo shoot that ended with a climb up a hill as it was getting dark that I wasn't sure I was gonna get up the top of. 6.5 hours, about $1,000. But I'm going the extra mile. I could have just come in, had somebody take some pictures, a few pictures here and there, not done the creek, not done all that. But I'm gonna have this fantastic video and drone footage when I'm done there that will help sell this property, hopefully, Lord willing. So go the extra mile. There are no shortcuts. Deliver above expectations. Do the full doors two-step presentation. Do the buyer consultation. Go the extra mile. Do what's doing. Do the PTA, even though the PTA takes time to do. Do the PTA, the price trend analysis. Get quality pictures done. Man, I go through right now and I see some of the pictures that are starting to be slammed up there again in real estate. Please do good photography. Now, if it's a house where it's trashed and they're not taking care of things, yeah, I'm not, don't bring a professional photographer in to do that, but still try to get good pictures.
I hate seeing pictures and the toilets are open.
Oh, that drives me crazy.
Well, this is really a difficult motion. Well, I cannot understand the real estate agent who's there while the pictures are being done and then says, hey, let me do that. Or cleaning supplies sitting on the kitchen counter.
Yeah.
It's like, we had one agent that she got a listing down in San Jose, and I was having me going down there, and it was right around the corner from where I grew up. And so she was gonna meet a photographer. I'll meet you guys over there. I got there, the house was not ready. And what we literally did is we literally went from room to room, cleaned up a room, moved stuff out of there so we could take the pictures. And then we would clean up the next room so we could take pictures. For 2.5 hours I was there. I was planning to be there for 10 minutes with this agent, but it was her listing, but it was going up for $1.2 million, and it looked like garbage, and we needed to make it look good. So I went the extra mile with her, and we just kept moving stuff around, and it ended up selling really good. So go the other extra mile. No shortcuts is doing what we do with honesty and integrity. Okay. So you don't have to, you can sleep at night. You don't need to worry about that. I've done full stages on $400,000 properties. I've staged and done professional photography. Cuts into my profit, but you know what? I went the extra mile, wanted to make sure that, so I'm trying to build my reputation that I do quality stuff. And so that builds over time. It doesn't happen after the first one, but go the extra mile. There's no shortcuts we're doing. And then we'll come back to the Steph Curry thing. Build a success team. You go, man, I can't afford to have people on my team. Look around you. Look around you right now.
We have a team.
There's your team. Look back at the lady back. Yeah, look back at the lady at the high top, at the other high top. There's part of your team. You know what? If you're discouraged and you're struggling, go talk to Benita. She's been through life. She's been through some deep waters. She understands what it's like to hurt and be discouraged. And am I accurate on that? Okay. Yeah, and she's an encourager by nature. That's part of your team. You just may need to be encouraged. That's maybe what you need. Just, go in, shut the door. Can we talk? And just puke on her, and she'll. Yeah. But you've got a team around you. You've got people around you. You know what? Everyone in this room and online, man, everybody's willing to help each other out here. We want you to be successful. You're. Most of you don't know this, but you know what? For Vanita, Connie, Maggie, and I, we have a job description that we work off for our clients. Us as a staff team. You know who our clients are? You guys.
Mhm.
You're our clients. So we've got things from having to do with keeping the facility clean and garbage cans emptied and things look, so when you've got clients come in, it looks good in here, to doing everything we can for you. So we actually have about a 10 bullet point thing of that you guys are our clients, that we're here to serve you guys. And you probably don't even know that exists, but it is. So when Vinny was hired, I said, here's your job description and here's our job description as a team. So we're part of your team. Other agents in the community are your team. Okay, treat them nice. I mean, there's some that don't deserve to be treated nice, but treat them nice, build relationships with them. I got 2 or 3 of them that I call up all the time where I need property management issues or help, or I got clients, people that need a house to rent and they do property management. I've got other ones that I call up just, hey, just trying to figure this out. We as broker to broker, we talk about things, we help each other out. Helping you, that's part of that. Your Weichert franchise, the Weichert franchise, with all the tools that come out and the conferences and the online stuff that they do, that's all part of your team to help build you, to make you a better agent. So you've got it, your kids, your spouse, your significant others, they're part of your team. Let them in, be a part of that. Treat them well. Let them help where they can. They want you to succeed because they want to go on the vacations that you're taking them on. Right, Naomi? Yep. Your preferred vendors, you put your vendor program together. That's part of your team. It's really important to have people that you can trust out there that you can refer to your clients as part of your team. That's part of your success. Your lenders, your title company reps, they're part of your success team. Maybe at some point you want to develop a team where you partner up and you work with somebody else and you have that, but you do have a team and rely and lean on your team because it's so important for you to do that. So there's 10 things to help you to be successful, 10 best practices. I know we went long and I apologize. What?
I only have 9.
Yeah, we're still not on 10. 10's next.
1, 2, 3,
Only 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Okay. Set goals. Got that? Be a learner. Manage your time. Talk to people daily. Watch your attitude. Practice, practice, practice. Oops, where is it? Cultivate your fans. No shortcuts. Build a team. Okay.
Your 9 steps.
9 steps. 9 best practices. Yeah. One last thing. So here's one, and let me pause the share. And Vanita's. So we have we initially had a okay. Let's see. Stop share and stop recording.